Okay, to follow up on dealing with decoys, maybe this was in the wrong order, but we have failing with decoys. And Livemaster reminded me, I forgot to mention, these are exaggerated examples. As in, usually your opponent's smarter than putting the decoys directly in front of the fighters. So it's harder to manually target, especially when you don't have recon on them, so that you only see the triangles floating in the air. So this is what happens when decoys go wrong. If we just want to play in 3, 2, 1, go.
So basically, the Spitfires didn't target the fighters on their own. So now Spitfires attacked the decoys, and they lost their ammo, so they have to get back. And the MA just finish off the remainder.
Yeah. So also that's what decoys are useful for. And yeah, I've actually put down on my little page here. I'm organized, see? That I'm gonna pause this before we miss something. At 17:10. That what was I writing? Yeah, it's unreliable. Like I said, yeah. Sometimes the fighters will just fly past the decoys anyway. It might depend on the length of the arrow you choose for moving past, but I think we discovered that it depends on whether the decoys are moving towards you or not. If the decoys are moving, they won't engage, I think. We haven't tested it properly, but that's what it looked like. I don't know, do you agree, Lagmaster?
Yes, it's sometimes it's a bit iffy. I think if you move without attacking fighters at the back, and I move decoys forward too, they will actually went past each other.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but but once they didn't, and it was so the rule of thumb I think is that not moving decoys when somebody's attacking you with this, or although I
Yeah.
might be wrong. If somebody knows, just please correct me as well. Because we don't have Tiga
Yeah.
here, so we could be just lying to you straight in your face.
Yeah, and a nasty thing to do is I find trouble with it is put decoys right up like above your opponent's airfield, like in his takeoff zone where he's taking off into, because often it's very hard to take off without engaging at least one of the decoys. Like your first fighter engaging, the next ones will get past. Um, if they don't have AA in their base.
Yeah, that's especially annoying when you take them quickly out of the airfield, so they go in line, and all of them would engage the decoy, and that's annoying.
Yeah, the hockey takeoff. You might have seen it done. It'll be later because I missed the part where we're supposed to do it. So you'll see how to do that. It's when the planes take off in a line. It's an exploit really, but it's just better for controlling your planes, and the developers never fixed it. So most people know how to do it, but if you don't, look forward to that. Anything else to say on this decoys? Like Master, you like your decoys?
Um, yeah, I like my decoys. Yes. The thing is, decoys can be easily spotted and then very easily countered. If you use your decoys and opponent counters that with AA, you might be actually giving him a good idea of what he's supposed to be doing, and it's building AA to deal with decoys, and then he's gonna probably use it against you. So, but usually decoys are good, and they're very versatile. Like you can use them to attempt a snipe, so opponent is fake to forced to camo, or you can move your fakes to one flank, then your real planes to the other flank, and attack like AA from two sides.
Yeah. Decoys are
So
much harder to spot if they're mixed in with real units.
yes, yes, and then it's very nice to throw your opponent off, just to give him something extra to think about. Is that all decoys? Is that maybe two fighters? Or so your opponent doesn't really know that much about your units, and especially if you start moving them around. Like, don't just send fake decoys and leave them in one spot. Try to move them around if you have some free time. Um, that will create a bit of hassle for your opponent. So
Yeah, also they can draw fire, but that's not really for the air tutorial. We'll maybe talk about it in a tank micro or something. Um, we'll see.
Well, you can also send your micro. Are we talking about that? How to deal with 88s? I think we do. So we're gonna mention that later,
Mm,
probably.
yeah, later. Okay, well, moving on. Okay, next thing is fighting over anti-air guns. Uh, Now the Spitfires here, my Spitfires, UK, they cost 20, so they're cheaper than ME109s, and they do 41 damage, so they're better. They do 50 research on them, but they'll beat the ME109s in a fight, is what we're concerned with here. The ME109s have 10 less damage, just 31 damage.
But
My
the
tab
sneaky
won't
German
open on
player
them,
managed to build AA.
yeah, because you can never trust a German. And, yeah, we have 5 AA guns here. Generally one-on-one, say, 27 damage versus 31 damage. That is basic fighter versus, say, an ME109 or a Russian advanced fighter. You do need to know the damage of your planes, because you might wonder why your American basic fighter is losing to German basic fighter. And just pressing tab on a unit will open the stats, and you can see the damage of planes on that right sector, right part there. Yeah, because I just know them because I've looked at them so much, so it's useful to know. Anyway, let's just go here in 3, 2, 1, go, and see what happens. Oh no, they're gonna spin again? No, they're not. Okay, so they're gonna engage the ME109s. There's 3 ME109s and 3 Spitfires. A guns, firing, Spitfires, routed. An ME109 was lost because the Spitfires are just so much better, but lost the Spitfire as well. So in a normal engagement, the Spitfires would have won that outright. Spitfires wouldn't have lost anything. 3 ME109s dead, but that's not what happened. So fighting over AA is
Yeah, I
important.
think the British player was a bit lucky in here. Even with 5 AA,
British player.
still managed to yeah, British player.
Yeah, I know, I think the air battle happened a bit far forward of the AA, and I wasn't getting the full force of the AA on me. I don't know. Yeah, it's a bit
Yeah,
random
usually you
because...
want to keep your fighters a bit back, especially if you see fighters incoming. So you just push them a bit back,
Just gonna pause it, yeah.
and the planes will take extra damage from AA, and then you can start engaging them.
Yep. Okay, well, yeah, that's relatively the same. Okay, yeah, there's nothing else to say on that, is there? Don't think so.
Not really, but AA is very nice while dealing with air, especially if you have your own fighters. So you could be
Yeah,
actually pushing your fighters a bit forward, so the planes will auto-engage, and then you can catch them in your AA. That's one
yeah,
thing. So
exactly.
it's a bit hard. Sometimes your fighters will engage them a bit too soon, and you're gonna be out of your AA cover, so you might lose that one. But it's a kind of a chicken fight where you just test how far could their fighters come.
Yep, and in 2v2s and stuff, you can get your teammate to build the AA for you if you're the one with the airfield. Usually, at least the way we play 2v2s, there's one person who has dedicated air. Like, most of the time. So, yeah.
Yep. And usually going against Brits, it's AA. That's a better choice rather than, for example, German in here could research their advanced fighters, which cost 30, which is a lot more than 20. And it's even though they win, the amount of cash you have to spend on them is, in my opinion at least, not worth. Rather than researching for advanced fighters, you could go on AA base and then build AA and equal the chances of your fighters.
Yeah, not just equal, but usually win.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now, we have 2 jet bombers here. Generally not great to buy, are they? They cost 50 and don't do a lot of damage. They're good for bombing admins because they bomb a very, very wide radius because they're flying so fast that the bombs get dropped far.
These
And what
are
we're talking...
considered by most of the players as glass cannons. They cost 50, which is huge. They're only medium bombers, but when you're using them with Blitz, they are really quick. So
yeah. They
I
outrun
usually
almost all
wouldn't
fighters.
research them, but yeah. They're only
Yeah,
probably the unit you use if you stack for some firepower against huge stack of AA and you have some spare cash, but this is not considered as a good weapon for Germany. Yeah,
yeah,
people might disagree, but 50 is a lot for a unit that dies quickly.
exactly. Okay, let's just get on with it then. 3, 2,
Oh, did we
1.
explain what we have to do in here?
Oh, not really. Yeah, so it's bombing angles. I hope I said that. If I didn't, sorry. Yeah, the bombing angle is often important because, you can destroy a lot more depending on more or less depending on what angle you're coming from. For example, it takes 2 of these jet bombers to kill a building because they don't hit it right. Well, it depends on the length of the building. One will kill an AA base or a proto base, I think, because they're longer if you bomb them at the right angle. You see. Um, what the importance is here because every bomb does a
Plus,
certain amount of
with
damage in
fast
R.U.S.E.
bombers like those, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, and the
if you use
bombs.
Blitz, that bomb would spread wider because the
Yeah,
fighter is the bomber goes faster. So you have to
exactly.
be careful with using your ruses, because you might ruse yourself
It doesn't make a
on the other
difference
game.
with any other bombers, I don't think, because the other bombers are just too slow anyway.
No, no,
Maybe
not
the
that
Italian
much
ones.
as Blitz bombers and Italians, yes.
Yeah, the
So
Axis
in
like
here,
their
like we're
fast
gonna
bombers.
hit those bases at the angle that the bombs would be dropped across both of them. So hopefully the both buildings will be destroyed. With light bombers, that for example the German ones, um, you probably wouldn't get it because they're too slow and they do not carry enough bombs. So maybe you could
Exactly.
kill 2 buildings that are very close together. But, nobody really builds like that because of obvious reasons. The bombers could kill more buildings.
Yeah. Okay, now we're ready to go. Okay, 3,
Hmm
2, 1, go. See how wide a radius those things bombed, and that wasn't even on Blitz. And so yeah, that was the proper angle. Killed both buildings. They would only have killed one if we'd say gone parallel to the road here. We'd only have killed one of them.
And also, by hitting from side, you might avoid a bit more AA rather than going just straight at it. So sometimes it's worth to micro your planes to side and hit it from side. Not even buildings, but even moving targets like some units. And that would make it a bit safer for your planes.
Yeah, because if you think about it, you're not flying into the AA to turn back. You're turning back away from the AA, back to your base. So you spend less overall time in the range of the AA.